So there's nothing that fires me up more than when law enforcement takes it upon themselves to not do their job. You're given an awful lot of power. At the end of the day, if you're using that power to screw over citizens, it's just hard to back that. What I mean and what I'm talking specifically about is the guy who defended himself in his home in LA a couple of weeks ago. And I know a lot of people have spoken on this, but I believe that I bring a different perspective a lot of times to certain things. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dumb this down for our government, because I feel like that's honestly what has to start happening. You've gotten too big and your head's gotten way too big. So for those of you who haven't seen this, I'll run through it really quickly. A couple of robbers jumped this dude's fence and held him at gunpoint. He fought him off, and it was this big dramatic thing, and he did a really good job. But the aftermath of this is just astounding. It's astounding. Apparently this guy had a dispute with law enforcement when they showed up. And when I say law enforcement, it was the police. Apparently he was yelling at them because they handled the situation terribly. So a couple of days later, this man had his concealed carry license revoked.
California is now deciding to suspend my Second Amendment.
And the sheriff's office said that it was because he yelled at the sheriffs. Oh no. Look, this is pretty simple. So for all of the LA cops who are involved with this, if you can't handle somebody yelling at you, you're in the wrong business. People are upset because all of the major cities are trashed. And guess whose job it is to make sure that doesn't happen? It's your job. It's your job. And I don't care if you're defunded or you only have 5 guys or whatever, it's still your job. If you don't like it, do something else. So when someone's upset and they yell at you, are you just so holy that you can't take that? What'd you do? You go and complain to your boss, hey, this dude yelled at me and I didn't have an extra tampon, so why don't we just revoke his carry license? How stupid is this? Like, you guys are a bunch of fairies. Now look, a police department is no different than any other organization in the world. There are good cops and there are bad cops. The first thing on the list for you to be a bad cop is for you to ignore your oath to the Constitution. That's the first thing. I'm not even talking about being dirty. I'm not talking about, stealing cash from arrests, planning drugs. I'm talking about ignoring the Constitution or infringing on it. You, as an organization, a police department, you find those guys who are idiots and you get rid of them. Or if they're not owning their mistake, you have to own it for them. So what should have happened with this is whoever was involved should have came forward and said, look, we were upset. This is not correct. This guy did nothing wrong except defend his family. We screwed up. We apologize. Where is that? Where is the, you know what? I screwed up. Let's own this. You know what they did instead? Stopping is something that we all put off because it's hard. But switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and even fun. Fume has served over 150,000 people and has thousands of success stories. And there's no reason that can't be you. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up a journey pack today. Head to tryfume.com/heavyduty or scan the QR code on the screen and use my code HEAVYDUTY. They're having an amazing 20% off the entire site sale right now, and that goes to December 1st. And after that, you can still use my code to enjoy 10% off. They also have a new product that they just launched, the Fume Solano. You can upgrade your journey pack to the Solano and enjoy the premium walnut barrel and the onyx coated mouthpiece, which provides a smoother finish. And when you upgrade, you still get the discount. So that's tryfume.com/heavyduty and enter heavy duty to get 20% off your order until December 1st. Let me read this. The DOJ has been notified and there are avenues for Mr. Ricky to reapply for his permit. We have been in contact with the Ricky family and have been providing information to tell them about CCW protocols and guidelines in effort to ensure their Second Amendment rights are protected. You. That's, oh my God, dude. All right, so let me get this right. This guy gets his house broken into, is held at gunpoint. He defends his family. He yells at some cops for, I guess, butchering the investigation. They get their panties in a wad, so they revoke his CCW. Clearly a mess up. This guy did nothing wrong. And instead of just being like, you know what, it was a mess up on our end, some cop was being a pussy about this whole thing. We're reinstating you now because you did nothing wrong. Now they're telling him that he has to go through the proper procedure to get his CCW back. Look, I don't know if you guys haven't figured this out, but you guys took away his rights. This guy legally can't go outside of his home with a weapon now. Can't go outside. I mean, if these dudes go back, he's going out to the gas station, maybe they see him there, he's gonna be unarmed.
As a result of that night, the California government has temporarily suspended my ability to concealed carry. This is an attempt to make me vulnerable at a time that is critical that I maintain my ability to protect my family. They'd rather leave me out there to dry and let my family become a statistic.
Here's the last thing I want to say. California is clearly weird with their Second Amendment laws, and they're continuously infringing on rights. But let me just give California a little bit of perspective here, because the rest of the country, at least the places that have constitutional carry, let me explain how this works. I touched on this topic before, but I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into it. The only reason why people get concealed carry licenses is to have a smoother process on the background check. And if you don't understand, let me explain it to you. You are not going to tell an American, a morally correct American, that he can protect his family in his home, but he can't protect his family where most of the danger is. Do you see how stupid that is? It's like, hey, a robber has to break into your house in order for you to defend yourself. And then who knows? I mean, if the police are in a bad mood, they may, I don't know, charge you or throw you in jail or find some reason to revoke whatever permits you've got. Millions, probably tens of millions of Americans don't bother with the CCW stuff. Because most cops, you know what they do? They realize that they have the same rights as us. And they say, okay, he doesn't have a CCW, whatever. Have you seen the crime rate? He's got to be able to protect his family. So stop with this CCW stuff. The fact that this guy even has to have one is outrageous. I mean, what do you tell families when someone gets robbed in public and they're a gun owner and they just don't carry because if they get caught with it, they're going to jail? What do you tell them if that family gets robbed and killed? What do you tell the rest of their family? Well, yeah, he's a gun owner, but he can't carry in public because he's not allowed to. It's not one of his rights that we're allowing him. This is sick, and it needs to change. Every American should be able to carry their gun in public legally. It's a right. Done.